employees. The co-founders of Hobby Lobby say they are pleased with the ruling. The decision gives closely held companies religious liberty rights, but just how far should those protections extend? That's our topic this half hour, and we want to hear from you. You can weigh in on our Fox 26 Facebook page. You can also send a tweet using the hashtag Fox26forlife. In our newsroom again, we have our legal analyst, Chris Tritico, our news analyst, Mustafa Tamiz, and public policy analyst, Jackie Bally, but it's all on you right now, Chris Tritico. All right, what does this mean for Hobby Lobby and other small businesses?
Well, the basic decision here that religious-based corporations or corporations who are closely held by religious people don't have to give certain types of contraception really doesn't have this huge, wide-ranging impact on the Affordable Care Act. The issue that really needs to be focused on is this idea of expanding corporate personhood. And Citizen United was the first time the government said that a corporation is a person for the purpose of civil rights. And they expanded it here in saying that corporations, the corporate personhood, if you will, now has religious freedom rights. And so where does this end, and when does a corporation not get to step in, sue the government, say, I don't like this law because it violates my belief in X or Y or whatever, and we don't have to follow this law? At the end of the day, when does the government now get to regulate a corporation, Jackie Bally? This expansion of a corporate personhood it really has wide and far-ranging implications.
I think that what you're seeing in this case, just as we discussed earlier with the Houston City Ordinance, whenever people feel that their religious freedoms are being infringed on, then they strike back. Hobby Lobby felt that a couple of the provisions in Obamacare were really making them do things that were against their own personal, corporate, and religious beliefs. And so that's why they sued, and that's why the ruling, the last ruling, was in their favor. I believe that a lot of us who are looking at these are thinking, okay, now every corporation has an opportunity to really express themselves and have their own beliefs. But again, whenever you feel that your personal or your religious expression are being infringed on, that's when we strike and that's when we attack.
You know, the expansion of the corporate personhood is really, in my view, the most important aspect of what happened with the Supreme Court. Right. You know, Hobby Lobby was already providing contraception to its people, and so these four things that the court limited really doesn't have that wide ranging. But this expansion of the corporate idea that a corporation is a person is the most dangerous part of that.
Yeah. So think about it this way. Ruth Ginsburg put it in her dissent view. If you happen to be following the faith tradition of Jehovah's Witness, and you provide health insurance to your employees, and your employees purchase that health insurance from their employer, they can say it's basically their religious right not for you to get any blood transfusions, even though if your life depended on it. So that's how far we've gotten. And in this court that's conservative is one thing, but you know, the members of this court, their spouses are lobbyists for the healthcare industry. They appear at political events. This court is somewhat out of whack, and so for 5 men to say for women not to have contraception is beyond belief.
All right, let me go. I'm going to come back to that in just a minute, Jackie. But go on. We'll go to try that again. I want to go to Sally. She's monitoring her social media.
Yeah, let's take a look at what some of the tweets are saying out there in the Twitter world. Tracy says, "Why don't people see the Hobby Lobby decision wasn't about pro-life, pro-choice, and was really about the war against women?" And then John says, Hobby Lobby isn't forcing their views on their employees. The government is or was trying to force their views on Hobby Lobby.
You know, and that's interesting because I was going to bring up a point just about what John just said. In her dissent, Jackie Bally, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who wrote the dissent, said the exemption sought by Hobby Lobby and the other company would deny legions of women who do not hold their employers' beliefs access to contraceptive coverage. In other words, what the court is doing by giving the corporation this personhood is saying now you as an employee have to follow the religious beliefs of your employer.
Well, that's not true. If you want to get contraception, you can get contraception. It doesn't matter if you're an employee of Hobby Lobby, you can get contraception. That's like saying the Catholic Church is telling you, because they do have a belief against contraception. That's saying
big one.
the Catholic Church is also stopping you from getting contraception. Just because you have personal and certain religious beliefs does not mean that you're stopping every single one from having that same belief.
Final thought.
So think about it this way: this particular ruling, IUDs, which is a form of birth control, is not allowed. If you work on an hourly wage and you're purchasing health insurance through your employer, like Hobby Lobby, you don't make enough in a month to pay for your IUD. That's what this does. This eliminates women from having birth control.
All right, we're going to leave it right there. You know, the issue here, Sally, is going to be long term. What does the idea of a corporate personhood mean? And we're going to see this every term now. We're going to see new cases brought up to the Supreme Court to determine the limits of the corporate personhood.
All right, thanks, guys. We appreciate it. We're going to see you again in just about 30 minutes.